Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Head Over Heels, a podcast where we explore what it's like being a modern Asian woman and a very safe space for us to have honest conversation. And to remind you to fall head over heels for yourself first and always. My name is Maggy Wang.
And I'm Vanessa, and it's an exciting day to be in the studio today recording. Because the weather outside is...
Yeah, it's kind of pouring. So if you hear a little bit of thunderstorm, do bear with us. But otherwise, we will be right here talking about something very interesting today. In case you guys missed out on our previous episode, we talked about falling out of friendships. And in case you haven't seen the video, I got a bit of emotional. You guys can check it out. It's on Spotify. Just look out for Head Over Heels podcast and check us out on YouTube as well. But right now, we're going to go straight to it. Okay, Vanessa? We're going to talk about setting the boundaries in their life. Talking about the boundaries and some of the things we're okay with and some not so. But before we even get there, what is boundaries to you?
I think it changed through, growing up and all that kind of stuff. But for now, how I identify a boundary is something that I really need is when deep down something is happening around me and it's challenging every nerve inside of me, or like my bone is like ringing and I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling comfortable. Yeah. And then I learn, oh, this is actually something that I'm not comfortable with. And that's when I start forming boundaries for myself.
So meaning the feelings that how your body tells you kind of helps you set the boundaries that you have?
Yeah, it's something that I don't realize I need until I'm being tested with it.
Fair enough. Because you never know until you kind of experience it, right?
Yeah. What about you?
I thought about it. Like, what is boundaries? Because I'll be very honest, if you ask me what is boundaries when I was maybe 10 years ago or maybe just 6 years ago, I would tell you, I don't know. What is boundary? I'll ask you back. But now that I've experienced a fair share of life, challenges, up and downs, and I noticed the importance of it. And to me now, I'm going to be very technical first. It's the limit that we establish to protect ourselves from letting other people step into our safe space.
Yeah.
My space.
Yeah.
Do I make sense?
Yes, you do. It's, for me...
Like when someone steps in, that's when you feel uncomfortable, right? Like, oh,
it's going against all my beliefs and values. I think that's when I feel very uncomfortable and bone ringing.
Yeah, I read this in this article actually by Mark Manson. I love his book, by the way, The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Oh yes, so you guys should check it out. It's orange in color.
The cover is the orange. Yeah, it's pretty striking. But he said that a healthy personal boundaries is taking responsibility for your own actions and emotions while not taking responsibility for the actions or emotions of others. I kind of need that to let it sink in for a bit because it's a lot to understand.
Oh, I like that already. Yeah, right? Hearing it, so I can totally relate.
Taking care of yourself, going back to our very first episode on self-love, putting yourself first before others and knowing what is okay and not okay and kind of voicing it out. That's when you set the boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there are many, many types of boundaries. And in fact, I feel like it's really fun to talk about. One of it is definitely, let's go to friendship first before we get to relationship.
Okay.
Would you be comfortable if someone asked you too personal of a question upon meeting? Like the first two meets, not very close yet, not like friend, but you go and ask me all this personal question. Would you be okay with that?
Define personal.
Like, sex. Maybe they ask you something.
Girl. I don't know. What are you talking about?
Would you be okay to share? If someone were to ask you, it's okay. We don't need to know you good girl, bad girl. But like, if I were to ask you now, will you be okay to share? Like, okay, maybe kissing. Oh my God, have you kissed your boyfriend? Like, I just met you. Do you want to share this kind of personal information?
If you just met me, I definitely will not. Like,
okay, at what point will you be okay?
At what point? I think I'm really friendly. I think as a person, I like meeting people and I I'm always the first. I don't mind being the first to go say hello to somebody.
Okay.
I love making someone feel welcome and all that kind of stuff. But I realized while growing up that it takes me a while to warm up to someone and to feel comfortable before I open up.
Fair enough.
So even though I'm like super friendly, like in terms of like what's inside and what's really dear to my heart, I think I really open up after a while.
After a while, a
of
good
meeting
while.
you. Yeah. So when it comes to kissing and stuff, sorry lah.
Don't
that
ask
one,
lah.
probably after 1 year, so I don't know how to tell you or not. No, like, just kidding. But I think it's like a connection kind of thing, right?
For sure.
So
But if
to
you
me,
click
it
with
really
the person,
depends.
then maybe yes.
Yes, yeah. It depends on the connection, the vibe. Do you look into my eyes when you talk to me? Just kidding. But what about you, Maggie? Like all this kind of stuff.
I'm very open.
Terbalik,
Yes,
guys.
yes, I am very, very open. Of course, not the first time I meet you lah. I don't know if you're gonna go around telling other people. But I guess if I've kind of established, I guess upon first meet, my answer is definitely no lah. You're stepping my boundary, like you're asking me too personal of a question. Oh my God, speaking of personal questions, I've got people asking me in my face, maybe not first time meeting, but we are not that close, huh? Hey, how much you earning? I can share.
Wow, this one.
Oi, 關你咩事哦？你
Need
問我
to
做咩
chop
嘢？
the, you know what I mean. You need to chop the. Okay, never mind.
Chop the pepper. Just say it.
Yeah, just do
But I
it.
feel that one a bit like.
You're over the top, This one needs
But
to
some people are
whack.
okay. But like for me, I didn't know. I was not comfortable with that question until it was being asked.
That brings me back to my
you
point.
back to your point. So at that point, I was like, yeah, some like this I earn this much lah.
Yeah.
I was not comfortable, and you could feel like you could see me stuttering, like not knowing what to say because I'm not comfortable sharing. But at the same time, I was being put on a spot in front of so many people. So I don't want to look like the.
I know.
You know, like that person's like, yeah, so siap to share your information.
Actually, this just happened to me. Like last weekend, I went to a party at a co-working space, and it was 1-year-old party. I met this guy, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing now?" I was like, "Oh, I'm chilling, freelancing." Or he's like, "Oh, next time, if you want me to work, if I want to get you to do something, right? How much do I have to pay you?" I say, let's discuss. I say it really depends, right? He was like, "No lah, just tell me. And I kept saying no, but he kept pressuring me. I felt so uncomfortable, and there was this girl next to me. She was like, "What's wrong with this dude?" Thank God she was there. She like gave him a dead stare, and she was like, "This guy," and then we like walked off. But that was really uncomfortable,
for sure.
and definitely crossing the boundary for me.
For me too, I think generally it's like a question you shouldn't ask in a public space.
Yeah, when there's so many people
Maybe
around.
one-on-one, when you're like in a safe space where you guys are having some heart-to-heart conversation, you can at least tell the person, "Hey, do you mind? I'm not comfortable telling you."
Yeah.
But if in a public space, you're really being put on a spot, and that's so uncomfortable, and I don't like it.
Yeah, and he was forcing it.
Oh, damn.
Like if you know someone's not comfortable, just offer and say,
Yeah, I've had that.
"Okay, I can see that you're not very comfortable, but let's chat. Here's my number."
Yeah.
And then I said, and then he was like, "Can I have your number?" I said, "No, how about I take your number?" And he was like, "Oh no, it's okay. I can take your number." I was like,
Also,
I just took a photo of his card. I said, "You bugger."
Speaking of that, giving personal information. Numbers. I have something to say about this. I shared it on my Instagram stories before. I just recalled.
Yes. Tell
it's
us.
not part of my points, but I just remembered giving people my number. You don't go and simply give other people my number without asking my permission. Sorry, I sound like a bitch right now. Let me just break it down for you. Because I'm in this industry where I guess to reach out to me, you gotta kind of either email me or drop me a DM on Instagram or call me. I am not okay if people go around sharing my numbers without telling me. That kind of really pisses me off, and I feel like it's kind of crossing the line for me.
That's not okay. Tell us, why do they do this to you though?
I don't know. Like, if you have my number and if someone else's ask you for my number, at least just give me a heads up. You don't have to ask for my permission per se, really. Honestly, if you just, "Hey Mags, someone asked for your number. I hope you don't mind that I shared it." At least I am aware. Because I don't like my private personal number to be like shared around without me knowing. Because who knows what it's gonna be used for. Because I've been getting random calls from like weird people sometimes. And it pisses me off because then you kind of are breaking into my private space.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So don't go around giving people anyone's number without their permission.
Yeah. Speaking of permission, I have another story. Have you been invited for a direct selling?
That's why.
Wow, that one also this MLM. I got invited once. They were like, "Oh, would you like to come for a motivational talk?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love motivational talk." I got there and they were like, "You want to be platinum member, gold member, silver member? You must meet this. You can buy a Mercedes. You can buy this car,
This
that
is
car."
their favorite post.
Who cares? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it's such a waste of time, guys. Like, just tell your friend up front, this is a MLM, direct selling. If you're interested, come on board. But otherwise, don't cheat them. Make them waste their time.
Before, man. Right? I have to pay $1,000 to join, At that time, I got no money. I borrowed money from my mother. And in the end, I had no guts. I cannot do direct selling. I can talk. But for me to reach out to people and sell something and make them want to buy it, man, I failed big time.
Yeah.
Because it's not something that I trusted, because I was forced into it and I'm like, oh shit, I already paid $1,000. I need to sell this one to earn back my money.
Yeah.
And I had that pressure.
Yes.
But it was because someone was not honest with me. They're like, hey Maggie, haven't seen you in a long time. Let's catch up.
That's just standard line. Or like, do you want to make more money on the side?
Yeah, how are you feeling? Are you earning enough? I'm like, what messy?
Yeah. I think it's okay, if this is your line of work, totally fine.
But be honest.
Respect it. Yeah, but respect other people for their time and whether they want it or not.
Yeah.
So just be very honest about what you're getting them into. I think that's the point here. That's the boundary where
be honest. Like, hey, I'm doing this right now.
Yes.
Would you be open to have a listen about it? And not say, hey, let's catch up. And then I sit down, order my coffee, and they put like 2 files in front of me. Like, stop that shit.
Quite terrible. I had one more told me, I have a business proposition for you. So I was like, okay, yeah, this was when I first won Miss Universe. I was like, oh, very exciting. Let's hear this person out. I went there. This lady, she just chucked me inside this room of 40 people, and we were listening about the water alkaline, put the blue color, become alkaline water. If you test with the
Science
pH,
class
I was like, in there for 2.5 hours, my blood was like boiling, man. This is when the boundaries is being tested, guys.
Yes,
I agree.
I agree completely. So if you are on the receiving end, we feel you. But if you are the person been doing this, maybe be honest from the start. That would be nice. At least we say no, so we will say nicely.
Yes.
Don't break the bridge off because of this money things.
And I actually cut this friend off after that because I just thought it was disrespectful.
I agree. I don't really talk to the person who made me pay the $1,000 which I never earned back.
Yeah, that's bad, yo.
Okay. Well, speaking of money, let's talk about sharing finances with your partner, your boyfriend, girlfriend,
Ooh, okay.
Are you okay to share how much you earn?
With my partner?
Yeah.
Okay, right now with my partner, we're in like our 4th year of relationship. At this very moment, I think it's actually quite important to talk about your finances because you're going into a very different stage of, being in a relationship, and you're like trying to form a longer and a future together. So I think it's important to discuss, to understand your values and his values, and see whether it aligns or not in terms of finances.
So you're okay to share?
At this point, yes. But if you asked me this a couple of years ago, I would have said no, actually.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I think with age, it definitely changed. And it also depends with who and how long you've been going out with for. Or your intention, you might just have met for like 6 months, but if you're going to marry this guy and it's something that you should talk about, you should talk about it. And I know for a fact that like a lot of marriages, they suffer because they don't talk about finances before they get married. So to me, finances with a person that you see a future with, discussing that is actually a good thing. It might be really uncomfortable in the beginning, but sometimes uncomfortable topics needs to be spoken about the most.
For sure.
Yeah.
I
don't know. What's that boundary like for you?
Well, in the beginning of our relationship, I was still pretty open, but not completely transparent. But at this point right now, after about 4.5 years, we tell each other almost everything. If anything, I help him negotiate for some of his stuff, and he'll help me like give some advice. No, you should charge this much instead, and you should be doing this with your money. So we kind of help each other out. And when we travel, that's when we have to kind of know how much we can afford certain things. So that's when it's very important to kind of understand your financial stability of your partner.
Yes.
And if there are some things you don't feel like sharing, it's totally fine, but just being aware is nice.
Yeah.
And also the one thing that I guess I am still not comfortable sharing is exactly how much I have in my savings. That is something I still haven't been able to be completely transparent about.
Yeah.
Even him. So that's the only thing in terms of finances that we are not fully comfortable with just yet.
And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are still dating.
Yeah.
Maybe before you get married and stuff, that's something that
we can talk about.
Yeah, talk about further.
But if we were to get married, whoever this guy is lah, I don't know.
Very
we did talk about having a joint account. Not joining our existing account, but having a joint separate account to start building the family with for our future child or like for rainy days. But have that fund and both of us will contribute. We're pretty equal in the relationship, and I kind of like that about it because, I know my mom always kind of tell me you should date a rich man. My auntie, you should date a rich man. But I'm like, what if this rich man don't want to give me money, and then what am I going to do? That's why for me, it's just my personal value that I need to have my own money, so I don't need to depend on a man for whatever I want to do.
Yeah. They always say lah, find a rich guy if you can, right?
Yeah.
But after meeting many rich guy, macam
macam tak
something
boleh
wrong
pakai
somewhere one. This super rich guy. Like, it's not that there's something wrong. It's just that the values don't match and how you view how to lead life and take life
lifestyle
is quite different. Yeah,
lifestyle. I mean, I have dated wealthy guys before with bodyguards and drivers, and it's very different the way they view money. For them, sometimes money is like water.
Yes.
They can just spend this much just like that.
Yeah.
But for us, it's maybe a year worth of salary.
Exactly. It's like one night's dinner is your 1 month salary.
Yeah.
It's my 1 month salary.
So at this point, I'm happy where we are.
Yeah.
We are slowly growing together. So yeah, I'm definitely able to share, but not everything still. So there are still some things I keep to myself where we draw the line like, yo, I will never tell you, not tell you my how much I have in my savings just yet. If you want to know, you can guess. But, it's something that I keep to myself.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. That's your own boundary and that's okay. But speaking of savings, something that's very personal is also our password.
Oh.
What is your take on your other half having your passwords to your email ke, Facebook ke, Instagram ke?
Well,
oh wait, WhatsApp.
Huh? WhatsApp got password?
I mean phone lah. Phone okay
phone,
not?
phone password
phone
lah.
can.
No, I don't have his password.
Oh really? Okay.
I don't want to say I know. If I say I know, he changed password.
Oh you okay. So he
no, I don't know the password.
Maggie doesn't know the password.
I mean, I can roughly guess because sometimes I like overlook, and then he's like,
sneaky
guess
look,
lah, I guess. But no, like we don't check each other's phone, and he tries like, hey, what's your password? I'm like, not telling you. Let me do it myself. But password is something that I don't share. We never saw the need to. It's our private asset, our own thing. So if I want to use his phone, I will ask him permission to unlock his phone and I'll use it. And it has always been like that for me and all my exes. I never want to exchange password so I can check his phone and he can check mine. That blurs the boundaries for a lot of things.
What things?
Like if you can start checking each other's phone, it's a whole different thing already.
But that's the thing, right? Like I know my partner's password, but I never bothered checking his phone. It's more like for convenience, like because it's now facial recognition.
Yes.
And I gotta know, like let's say I'm turning on Spotify in the car, I can't be like looking for his face, like like trying to like put it in front of his face, right? So I just know his password for things like that.
He puts it in front of my face.
Oh, he does? Okay. I don't. I just have the password, but I never bothered to look for Like the intention is not to not check. It's to
check.
just
even if you know
make
you don't
it
check.
easy lah. Yeah,
Convenience.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we draw boundaries, and every relationship have different boundaries. I know some of my friends who do have each other's password and they do check each other's phone, and sometimes they get into argument because they found certain things that they're not happy with in the partner's phone. So that's when I'm like, is that
unnecessary?
Yeah. If you really want to hide something from me, well, there's nothing I can do, man.
Yeah, and why are you still with this? Or if you're so insecure and you don't feel okay that you need to check this person's phone, or you feel like you need to check this person's phone, maybe you should check yourself to see if this is the kind of relationship you want to be in.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, it's going to be so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because if you're just worried about the phone, can you imagine all other aspects of his life? Like how worried you have to be.
I agree. I trust my partner 100% from the start of our relationship. But I did battle and struggle with a bit of an insecurity problem in the beginning. But we worked really hard together to build that trust all over again, because this set of trust that I had initially with him was kind of like being trickled down from my previous unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
So I kept that with me, but we worked really hard to kind of like overwrite the current one. And now we have a new set of trust that it's unbreakable.
That's good. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And it's very real. It happens all the time.
For sure.
When people bring the baggage from their past relationships into their present relationships.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that you guys checked in on that.
Well, I do make fun of him sometimes when he goes like, oh, you like the girl's photo, is it? You like her, is it?
This one can or not? Can he like another girl's photo?
Well, he does, and he does it a lot just to annoy me. That's what he says.
Wait. These girls are like people you know, he don't know. He don't know.
He think he want to know, but he don't know lah. This girl all the way in America, LA, or don't know he exists.
Show tete one nah.
Show tete one.
Show tete one nah. No, what is this?
I checked, so it's like, can I share her name?
Share lah.
Alexis Ren. Now everybody go follow her already. I don't. You see all the guys in the house kind of like giving that woohoo. So Joseph follows this girl who got a tete, very sexy, very beautiful. But I also follow her lah. So when I see her photo, the first name, Joe Broseph. Now I go to her profile. 9 photos in a row. Joe Broseph.
Oh my gosh.
But for me, it's funny. I know he's doing it to annoy me. He knows I can see it. But because, like I said, to build that trust, the foundation work we've already done. So I'm not that affected. I'm like, I will tease him about it. I'm like,
for sure.
Very hot, is it? You don't like my photo? Then he will like all my photo all in a row.
Yeah.
But it's like something fun that we play around with. It's nothing serious. We rarely get into an argument about that because we have already kind of
distinguish your understanding.
Are you okay with it though?
With my jantan. My jantan, if you want to go and like all these tete photos, cancel.
Cancel what?
You're gonna get it, okay? I'm gonna give it to you. You better not be doing all this kind of nonsense.
So cannot for you, cannot.
Well, when you go, you're gonna get it.
Well, that's the thing. Every relationship have different sets of boundaries and you draw lines at different point of your relationship. So for you, it's a no. For me, I don't really care.
Is it okay for Joseph to be friends with his ex?
He is friends with his ex and I'm okay with it. From the start of our relationship, he did tell me that he and his ex are friends and if I'm okay with it. And I'm like, I don't see a reason why I shouldn't be unless they are still like not over each other. But he assured me that nothing is going on. And we did all the tough work in the beginning of our relationship.
It is tough work, isn't it?
It's a lot of work.
Communication.
Really. Yes, he communicated with me and he told me. I mean, I remember one time he told me he had to go see the ex because the dog was not feeling so well. And he loves dogs. Okay, Joseph loves dogs. And I knew if I were to get jealous, what would come out of it? We'll just get into an argument, and that just goes to show that I'm insecure myself, and it comes from me because there's nothing on between them. So I gotta check myself first.
Good job.
I did. So I'll be honest, I didn't feel the most comfortable knowing he was going to see the ex. But I had to really tell myself, why are you uncomfortable about this? He has already assured you and he has already communicated to you that this is what it's for. And I just had to trust him.
Yeah.
And I did. And it went great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's the blurred lines, right? Like just clearing that understanding of, oh, where do we lie on this? I think it happens mostly when you just started, like when you just start in a fresh relationship. But moving forward, it usually is quite chill once that's cleared out.
That's why. I don't know if you guys know of this guy called Justin Baldoni.
Oh yeah, the relationship. Is it the expert fella? Who is this?
He talks about being man enough. He has this show called Are You Man Enough or something like that. I forgot. Okay. He's the main guy in Jane the Virgin, and that's how I found out about him. In real life, he is such a great husband. All guys, y'all need to follow or just listen to what Justin Baldoni has to say. The way he loves and shows love to his family, the wife, and those people around him is so, so admirable. And I find him so sexy. He's also very sexy. The body sexy, the face sexy, but the heart, the most sexy.
That's the most important sexy.
Yes. Justin, if you are ever listening to this right now, we would love to have you on the show. And I'm not joking. If you guys can tag him on our Instagram to get him on the show, I would love to have you on this seat. And between us, that would be really one of our
dream
bucket list.
Yes.
Anyways, dream guest, Justin Baldoni, one of them. And one last thing before we kind of wrap up is when is it okay to move in with your partner?
Right, yeah. Oh, this one, guys, I want to hear from you guys also, actually.
From our listeners?
Yeah, like, is it okay if you were in your family home, but your partner came to stay over?
My mom was so cool about this. She never questioned me. She's like, who wanna come? Okay lah, slay lah. She was very chill. My mom was like too chill sometimes.
For me, it was like I have to check in and test the boundary a bit, you know, like, okay, bring him home first and then see how they react. And then after that, like, oh, bring upstairs and then see how they react.
Open the door first.
Close the room door. Okay, never come and knock on the door. Okay lah, pass. Maybe can stay over. Maybe. Then only slowly, you know. Because we need to respect our parents. I think as much as they're a bit old school and, you know, we're trying to like modernize things and stuff like that, it is important if we're staying in their home for the night. I think it's important to respect our parents and how they feel about things. Yeah.
And also sometimes you overstay at your partner's house.
Oh, yo, this one.
I was the person doing it before. I've done it before.
Okay. So never ask anything, just go and move in yourself.
Technically, by the end of the relationship, like, move in already, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Like, we first got together. This is not Joseph lah. We only moved in like much later. One of my relationships in the past, I started staying over during the weekends. And then it became Monday, only go home. And then it became Tuesday. And then it became the whole week, never go home. And that kind of went on for a year.
Yeah.
And then technically, I have more things in his house than I do in my own house.
Oh gosh.
I'm sure I am not the only one in this, but at the same time, he never told me not to stay. But I guess there were some days where it's like, he will like kind of hint me, you sure you don't want to go home?
Wow, this one never.
That's kind of when it kind of suck it me a little bit.
So which one would you prefer? Would you prefer to discuss about it and then move in together, or would you do what you did back then?
Definitely not moving uninvited.
Okay.
Right.
So definitely
having a conversation, and that's what I did in my current relationship. We didn't even talk about it until like 4 years into our relationship, like almost more than 3 years, and that's quite a long time. And it was a mutual decision.
Yeah.
And it was like both of us wanted to do it, and not like, by the way, I'll come stay over, and it just kind of prolonged to a year and it became a thing. Yeah.
What about traveling? Traveling together, for me,
I never had a problem.
Yeah, no problem, right? Yeah, but I think for many more conservative parents, they find it quite hard to let their children travel together. What would be your take in convincing these parents that it's okay to let me go travel? How would you talk talk to these parents?
Well, dear parents.
Yes.
I know you think they will stay together when they travel. Maybe actually, when they are already in Malaysia, already stay together.
Newsflash! Yeah, they tell
The
you
only difference is now you know they are not going to be in the country together, so you feel like they might stay together, but actually, auntie, uncle, maybe already happened many times.
Yeah, let's break it to you. If they tell you they stay in separate room, or like you dream lah, okay? Oh. Oh my gosh, to all the other...
I'm sorry.
Sorry for butchering the rahsia, guys. But let's just be super real and...
Yeah, I mean, it's not our first time sleeping together in the same room. Like, don't care what you do in the room. Like, sleeping it's more a financially...
savvy thing, yes.
Very financially
You save
savvy.
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, and our parents need to be up to date. Okay, auntie, uncles?
But yeah, dear parents, if you think you know, you actually don't know that much. Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Because my mom actually called me out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, Mom, I think remember one of the times where I kind of got this guy to stay over my house. I asked her, Ma, I'll get him to sleep in my room and I sleep in yours. Then he's like, you think I'm stupid, is it? You don't fake in front of me. You just do what you need to do.
Very sporting, this
My mother is so cool. That's why I am like that lah.
Yeah.
I'm very open as well. So yeah, I think boundaries is important. And because the lack of it will lead to a vicious cycle, especially in friendships, relationship. If there's something that makes you uncomfortable, it is important for you to voice out. As simple as,
I don't feel comfortable with this.
yeah, it can be something so petty in your eyes, but in the long run, if it really bugs you, it does affect the way you kind of have this relationship with this person.
Yeah, and I think it happens a lot with families in Asian culture. We constantly feel like we have to please our parents. So whatever they say, we need to constantly just do what they say. For example, come home for dinner every Saturday. But Saturday is also sometimes a day you want to hang out with your friends. So how are you going to communicate how this is important to you with your parents? That also matters.
Yeah.
I think creating that boundary for yourself teaches them how to mature as parents as you mature as adults.
I agree completely. And sometimes, well, let's be honest, we're not perfect human beings. We tend to step over certain boundaries.
Yeah.
But you need to catch yourself and bring yourself back and acknowledge that you did and what can you do about it if it's something very big. Of course, it is something that's maybe more petty on a not so serious scale.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge and learn that you shouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
Right? And also, like you said about the parent thing, you gotta do it not because you feel obliged to do it, but because you want to do it and don't feel guilty or feel bad about not being able to do it.
Yeah, I think guilty is the biggest indicator of when your boundary is being tested. For me, the moment I feel guilty, like, oh shit, I don't really like this friend, but dang, like I feel guilty for not going out with her. Then you have to ask yourself, is this friend really worth your time? Is this person you want, like somebody you want to waste your energy on? If it's not, then set the boundary very clear and tell yourself and be very honest with yourself and your friend to just not spend so much time with each other, you know, because it drains you. Like, I think as you age, like I'm at a stage where I'm like, the moment I hang out with somebody that I don't really care or like really drains me, when I go home, I'm like, okay, never again, no more.
All right, guys. So we've kind of touched on a little bit of everything when it comes to boundaries with friendship, relationship with your family, finances. Well, at the end of the day, it's really your own set of boundaries. What we're okay and not okay with doesn't mean you gotta feel the same way, right?
But tell us.
Yeah, do share with us what your boundaries are. Are you okay with the things that we've shared? If you're not okay, why? We would love to hear from you because we also just started a new hashtag. Let's get head over heels. Do hashtag so we can see all of your answers and your feedbacks. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's just important to acknowledge your boundaries and stick with it.
Yes.
And don't let people overstep you just because you're worried to hurt them. You're worried that you'll lose them. Then you might want to think are these people worth your time being a friend, being a partner, being a family member?
Yeah.
Right?
I think essentially you just want to be honest with yourself and also with the people around you. And no matter what, things got to be simple. So when things start to get complicated, you know it's
questionable and something needs to be done.
Yes.
Yeah. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify. We are Head Over Heels Podcast. And follow us on YouTube as well if you are a visual person. Yes, we do have a video for you to watch. And you can always comment down below. Once again, my name is Maggie.
And I'm Vanessa. And this is
Head Over Heels. We'll see you in the next episode. In fact, we've got a very special one in conjunction with International Women's Day. And I can't wait for you to hear it. Bye.
Walao.
She's hot. I do not deny that. Okay. I know Darren, your girl crush, right?
And M. Rata.
Oi, M. Rata. Okay lah, M. Ratakowski.
Okay, this song I don't know.
How you don't know? The song, what's the song called? The Robin Thicke song? Robin Thicke. Robin.
Who is this? Robin Thicke.
What's the song? Oh, na 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 na.
你可以没有 What kind of out tune is this?
You know, she's the sexy girl, almost naked. I think she's naked. Never mind. She's that girl.
Okay.
Well, so we're gonna come back. Maybe that one cut. It's okay.